Whoops. Good morning, everyone. Hope you guys had a fantastic evening and a fantastic night's rest. Mine was, I was up and down. Mine was pretty rough. Trying to get back to a good schedule. Right, so chat. More anime shenanigans. Because, get yourself a good repertoire of anime. Watch many. Some might surprise you. Some might be a little bit too fucking weird for anybody to ever get into, and you wonder why it was made. One of those that I have watched now was The Daily Life of a Part-Time Torturer. Not what I was expecting. Not what I was expecting at all. So, the premise is, in this world, killing and torture are legal. And so there are independent companies, like third-party torture shops, that pop up to, help bad guys, help good guys. It doesn't really fucking matter. The torturing's legal, right? I got to the end of episode 1, and I was just like, nah, this is fucked. It's too creepy weird. Fetishy weird. You know? Very, very no bueno. Yeah, so that one was, that one is right fucking out. And again, it's that whole, yes, I was legit like, is this a fetish thing? Yeah, and that's what it feels like. You kind of have that hum and haw, it's not as, no, it is pretty on the, it's too, oh. It's not even the fucking writer's barely disguised fetish at this point. It's very, I'm just creeped out. I'm just genuinely creeped out. And the fact it got actually made into an anime is this is what makes me feel better about my writing. Is knowing that this thing got turned into an anime. I said, you want the biggest morale boost, and you want the biggest confidence boost in your own writings, see what actually gets made into genuine products. And then you'll be like, yeah, you know what? I'm a better writer than that. Fuck it. I'll say it. I may not be on the same tier as, Sanderson or Martin or anything like that, but fuck it, I can write better than this. I can write way better than this. Yeah, so much garbage gets into anime. It really does. One of the ones I find interesting is Kunan the Sorcerer Could See. That one's actually been interesting. I don't know if it'll hold up, but, I like the fact that there's this whole concept of the hero scar. And it will leave different disabilities, and this is part of the old curse that was placed upon the hero and his bloodline. So if you manifest more heroism in you, you'll be given a scar. And the main character in this case, he's blind. He's entirely blind. He cannot see. But he realized something when he was using magic. If he channels his senses into his magic, he can see in a strange way. He doesn't understand the concept of colors and things like that, but he can kind of dictate differences and things. It's actually pretty interesting. Yeah, but that's what I mean. They did it specifically through the magic in and of itself. So he needs to use magic in order to see, whereas the rest of it is echolocation and things like that. I will never be Tolkien, but at least I'm not the guy that wrote Reincarnated as a Vending Machine. Well, again, that one's just dumb fun. It's completely nonsensical and stupid and silly, but it's genuinely just dumb fun. Because remember, the magic comes from within the person, right? The whole point of it is that magic flows out and through. So he's basically extending a sense, and then the magic itself is like giving feedback to him. But he can't actually perceive like properly, if that makes sense. Oh my god. Don't let me drink water. If I drink water, I do this. No drinking allowed. Yeah, so that one's okay. I'll see how it holds up. The one I am interested in a lot, we've got to wait for tomorrow, I think, is the next episode. Let me check. Oh, that one disappointed me. The Isekai Office Worker, the other world's books depend on the bean counter. I didn't expect it to be a boy love thing. I thought the concept was interesting. Like, somebody who's all into mathematics and finances and everything like that. How would they work with everything? Oh yeah, here we go. Easygoing territory defense by the optimistic lord. Production magic turns a nameless village into the strongest fortified city. Yeah, let's just say that's a name. that's a name for sure. This one, this is one of the ones where the anime itself, I like the premise of production magic. And the main character's capability, what makes him special, is not only that he's reincarnation, but that he has a nigh limitless pool of mana to pull from. So as long as he can think of it, as long as he can do this stuff, is really fucking good. No, it's not. He's not going to make guns. It's all still kept reasonable. It has to be kept within things that he specifically knows about. But he, like, because I've been reading the actual, like, manhwa of it. But here's my gripe. It's still interesting, but the translations on the manhwa are absolute dog shit. Like, you will not believe how awful the translations are. They are rough. Well, I think he's also trying to keep it within proportion of the world he's in, right? So he's building, like, castle ramparts. But he is thinking ahead, because guess what his city does? I thought I was the first one to think of this. No, apparently not. Apparently it is that obvious. I'm just like, oh. His fortified city is not a traditional castle. He's building a fucking star fort. And I was like, oh, damn it. That's exactly what I was doing. Oh, you bastard bitch. You old bastard bitch. You're not cheating, you're not trying. Well, it's because he doesn't want it to get out into the world, right? Yeah, star forts are the pinnacle of defensive fortifications. Hands down. So that's why that's why I did star forts in mine. Yeah, no, I was just like, it was just so funny to see, because it's like, okay, he's gonna fortify his city and everything like that. What's he gonna do? And then I saw, what page was it on? I saw it and I was like, oh, you bastard! It's a star fort. It's 100% a star fort. No, it was my idea. Yeah, but like I said, the translation on this is utter fucking dog shit. It is so bad. Let's see, I gotta get to the point. And there's where he's building his mansion. I gotta get to the point and I'll show you. I was like, cool, because they were just talking about it, and they don't bring attention to what it is at first. Yeah, the reason, like, a lot of his stuff comes out so much better, one is because of his limitless mana, basically, or at least we don't know what the limit of his mana is. And two is because he has modern, like, mentality in mind, so he knows, like, hey, if I take the wood fibers and I weave them together, I'll make a composite, and so he has, like, composite wood blocks and shit like that. Like, he knows that if he makes iron and he settles it in very specific patterns, like, he knows the molecular stuff, which just dramatically makes everything he makes, like, way more powerful. And that's why they're still fighting the massive horde that attacks the new fortress. I gotta find where he actually starts building the star fort. It's after the lake. I gotta stop listening to Tenebra Rosa Sangue. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. We're getting there. We're making our time. All right, here we go. This page. I saw it. I was like, no! He knows! He knows! Fuck! But again, it's this translation, though. The translations on this are so bad. Look at this. Road connected to a city wall, but can be separated if from the wall side will be placed drawbridge. This is the fucking... This is what I mean by the translation is fucking shit. It's so bad. It is so bad. Thank you, Google. I know. I'm like, whoever Monolith Freak has translating their stuff, fire them immediately. Like, it's so bad. It is so bad. Thank you, Google Translate. It's like, this is machine translation without somebody actually going in to clean up afterwards, right? I think the raw would probably be better translated than this. It's so rough. But I actually do like it. I like the systems that are in place. I like what they're doing. I like the fact that they're like, don't immediately jump on board with like, oh, there's a dungeon in the area. That'll make this town way more valuable because people will want to come to the dungeon to gather resources and stuff like that. And the group, like, originally was all on board, and then the Lord is like, no, because if I do that, remember, my family kicked me out because they thought I was useless. If we suddenly get a dungeon nearby and I have no means to hold on to this territory through my own might, they're just going to take it from me. And it's going to be given to one of the other children who is more deserving of it. This will now become a major strategic outpost instead of just a wayward backwater village. Yeah, so I like that. I like that their production capabilities are actually interesting and everything. So, you know, I'm enjoying it. Jack of All Trades Party of None has been pretty good. I've been reading the manga of that as well. It's been pretty nice. Again, I like the fact that there is some arrogance from the hero's party that kicked him out. But there's a party member in the hero's party that's like, no, you shouldn't have done that because I know what he's doing. You guys are on the front line. You're not paying attention to what he's actually doing back here. I'm a backline healer. I know what he's doing. Like, he's putting in all kinds of fucking work. You guys have no concept. And the enchanter they replace him with is a better enchanter stat wise, but she can't keep up. She hasn't worked with them. She doesn't know what they're doing. She doesn't know their timings yet. She has to learn all these things and internalize everything. And the party gets all mad at her, and the main character's like, no, you gotta listen here. You're only alive right now because she is that good of an enchanter. She doesn't know your timings and everything like that. She doesn't know how everything works. I'm tired of it when it's done like very half-assedly, you know? Like when it's like the haha, now for my obvious betrayal. This one fit a lot better because it was more like, I don't think you can help us through this. I think you're going to hold us back. It's going to get tougher from here. Remember, his stats are worse than another enchanter. So, part of it is the hero thinking, I'm going to protect you because it's going to get more dangerous the deeper we go. And another part of it is that they just don't know what enchanters are actually supposed to do. And then, again, there's a bit of arrogance to it, but it doesn't feel as like super petty and like, ha ha ha, and we'll take all your money and everything and we'll ruin your reputation and stuff, you know? It's not like that god-awful one, like, what was I watching? There's one that's totally brainless. There's one that's totally brainless. It was the... here we go. All right, here's what it is. This one right here. This is totally brainless. It's stupid. It's very cliche. There is nothing, like, good about it, but you can kind of turn off your brain and just enjoy it for the revenge porn, because that's what it is. But it's my gift level 9999 unlimited gotcha. Backstabbed at a backwater dungeon. I'm out for revenge. It's completely, like... There's nothing, like, high quality about it. The story is completely, like, cliche in every sense of the word. There is nothing that, like, you're not going to come to this for, like, oh, that's a really good quote. Oh, that's good writing or anything like that. No. It's entirely cliche. There is nothing there for you if you want to look past that. All it is revenge porn. That's all it is. Yeah, so that one was rough. That one's just super, super fucking rough. Let's see. I disagree with that statement because Shield Hero, remember, he specifically was trying to treat her beyond a slave, right? Granted, you have to keep in mind, the manga is different than the anime. The people that have read the manga also really don't like the anime version of Rising of a Shield Hero. Especially once they start getting into later seasons. They're just like, man, everything's fucked. It's getting the Game of Thrones treatment, sort of like adaptation thing. And they're just like, oh god, why? Why would you do that? That's about right there. That's about right where it is, Robust. That's when they start going like, well, clearly we're the ones doing all of it. And all the manga readers are like, Ree! Now again, that's not me making fun of manga readers. That's me like, I totally get you. That's if you read A Song of Ice and Fire and you watch the Game of Thrones show and you're just like, okay, season 4 was rough, but it's not too bad. And then season 5 comes along and you're just like, what the fuck? Oh my goodness. Right. So yeah, that one's rough. Let's see. Sentenced to be a Hero. I was expecting episode 2 to be... Actually, is episode 2 out now, finally? Nope, still not out yet. They said it would be out. It's not out yet. Silly goobers. Let's see. What other animus have I been diving into? Noble Reincarnation, Born Blessed will obtain ultimate power. Like, that one's been, like, okay. Again, it's weird. But, it's okay. I really do want to see the next episode of Sentenced to be a Hero, though. Like, holy fuck. That's some cock tease right there. Oh yeah, and then speaking of the torture thing, I only saw the name of it. I haven't watched it. It comes out today, right? It's out now. But tis torture. Tis time for torture. Princess season 2, and I'm like, what? Is torture like the big thing now? Yeah, episode 1 of Sentenced to be a Hero kicked ass. That was fucking great. Great, like, quality on the animations and everything like that. I actually liked the storyline and everything. Like, it's very, very interesting. I want to see episode 2 real bad. It's torture time, Princess. Does it feel good? Okay. Alright, fair enough. And today will be the boiling water torture, and it's just a hot bath. That kind of silly way thing. And he just like gets in and he's just like, ah. Shit, like eating tasty food in front of her. Ah, okay, I see. What? What? I stopped watching Tis Time for Torture after the school sports day episode where one of the kids drives a minivan onto the running track. What? That sounds wild. That sounds wild. Okay, and then because of like the post that got made in memes of an actual like hero character having genuine like equality, so he beats the shit out of this girl and tries to slap him. He just slaps her back. It's fucking good. Like I like that's funny. And then I started watching it, and that is genuinely a pretty fucking funny anime. The cautious hero, the hero's overpowered but overly cautious, has been pretty fucking good thus far. And again, like the funniest part to me, like, the part that like I watched it and I immediately went like, almost had a moment. Whoop, whoop. And I'm trying to do the status screen. Where is it? Ah, here we go. Here's the part. I posted it in the Discord right here for anybody that hadn't seen it in the Discord yet. This right here. Oh, six pack. Oh, six pack. Oh. Oh my god. Oh. I don't know yet. I'm only on episode 6. Well, episode 7 now, actually. They just got through the Dragon Village. And the hero fucked things up because he didn't fulfill the prophecy, and he just pretended to fulfill it and then leave the Dragon Village like... Like, no, let's not talk about it. like, like I know that's not the divine sword, is it? He's like, well, we'll find another way. We'll find another way. Let's not talk about it. You have to keep it hidden. Okay. Let's see. Were there any other ones we did? That's a title description. What the fuck? Wash it all away with an endearing protagonist and luscious art. This seaside slice of life story offers tranquility in the chaos of the modern world. Okay. Right. Uh. Right. Well, there's Valkyrie. I think you might be talking about Valkyrie. I don't know, but she's the one the hero calls the exhibitionist. Like, oh, yeah. I don't know if I don't know. Maybe I haven't met the tan tomboy yet. Well, we will see. We will see. Okay. So, the plan for today, we're gonna do more Hunter the Reckoning Wayward. I wanted to try a Hunter the Reckoning Redeemer, but the Xbox emulator it gives a warning that this game is launchable. Good luck at that point. It's like, okay, okay. This game launches. That's all we can guarantee. It starts up. Have fun from that point on. It's like, oh, all right. Right. So, instead, let's do the preview we've got for Chapter 13. We're up to 170 pages now, chat. 170 pages. Then we have, on Friday, I think we're just going to do a full, like, read-along. Like, not, the whole stream will basically be, like, a full read-through. Kind of like what we did with Thorin Denderson. So, we'll probably just do the same thing on Friday. We're not going to get through the whole thing, obviously. I'm going to do it for Guardians of Nature. So, that will be the Guardians of Nature stream. We'll do, like, part 1 of who knows how many. We'll see how far we get. But I'm going to be taking notes on, like, things I want to add, things I want to change. One thing I know I have to add already for Guardians of Nature is I haven't ever actually described what Lapradia looks like. Like, I've given hints, the fact that, you know, it has different districts and everything like that, the fact it's a dock city and everything. Like, I've given stuff like that. The fact that Smiling Wolf Studios has an entire porn operation there. But I haven't described what the city looks like. I'm like, that's weird that I never, like, said what Lapradia was or what it looked like. Like, just to give a general vibe, right? So, that is what we'll be going through. I gotta add that on Friday. Yeah, and again, just make sure we have all of our I's dotted and T's crossed to make sure all the plot lines and everything go through. The setups and payoffs are there. So I expect that the book is going to expand out a few pages. And by a few, probably like 20 or 30. So that'll probably put us about like 310 or so, 317, around there. So we'll see. We will see. Anyways, now for Chapter 13... Perceptions in Den of the Arctic Wolf. Chapter 13 is not done yet, but I'll get up to what we're up to now. The truck rumbled along as it traversed the long and narrow road leading towards Point Crescent. The ladders and cabling in the back rattled and shook in their confines on each little bump and jostle that went through the shock absorbers. All the while, 2 men in matching uniforms occupied the front cab of this utility vehicle, bearing the name Carmen Light and Power on its side. I'm just surprised, is all I'm saying. Especially if this has been going on for a while now. Not a single person has come to complain or make the drive down towards Carmen. Well, it gets a bit weirder. No one could get in radio contact with anyone, really. You'd think the power fluctuations would be enough, but, well, here we are. When did the station notice? The rather thin and gangly man sitting in the passenger seat asked his companion. Oh, right away. But I think they hoped someone at the point would get it sorted. It's a couple $100 to send out a work truck from us, you know. The senior of the two was larger, having all the hallmarks of a seasoned father. Fucking cheapskates. Swear CLP gets worse each passing year. Ha! You've only been there for 2. Try being there for 15, kid. The pair shared in a moment of laughter before settling back in for the journey. Finally, the junior reached over and turned on the radio to at least fill the silence. Yet the old man slapped his hand and pointed at him. An often spoken rule amongst the drives was that Stephen was in charge of the radio when he drove. This brought a sense of mirth from Terry, who waved a hand innocently and smirked. What, don't you want to hear... What, don't you want to hear any more of me stories? Afraid you might start catching some gray hairs? If I talk to you long enough, they're going to put me in a home early. Pair shared another laugh even as the truck rocked from the roughly maintained road. Soon they would be coming up on Wendell's Diner, which stood at the last crossroads before heading down the long road to reach Point Crescent. It had been a strange location for one, though many who did not understand the isolated diner acted as a sort of food trap. Many people on the long haul to the point or traveling out west towards Vayan, east towards Littlefield, had few other options. This made Wendell's a de facto mandatory stop, either heading in or out of the point, and so saw a steady stream of customers. In fact, the pair of electrical technicians were planning to do just that on the way out, but something strange caught their eye. Hope I did the wrong kind of there. Wow. There, over there! Their eye! Their eye! Not here eye, their eye! Hey, does Wendell's look a little... I don't know. Yeah, kid, something seems off. It's dark inside. You have a bunch of cars and trucks out in the lot. The truck, mustering all the stealth it could as Stephen let off the gas and let it drift forward, approached the diner with incredible care. Even in the midst of a bright day, the inside of the diner looked unusually dark and foreboding. Their eye, giant floating eye in the distance. It has happened. It has happened. Stephen, let's just... I don't like the looks of that. It's okay, Terry. I just want to take a look. Gonna keep the truck running just in case. Slowly the vehicle came to a stop and Stephen shifted the truck into park. He then... I don't want to do slowly again. Let's do carefully. Or cautiously. There we go. He then cautiously opened his door and took out the flashlight from his work belt. Terry exited the passenger side and looked out across the field and forest near the diner and roadways. On the roads heading to the other towns, he could see a crashed car, and this sent a shiver down his spine. The older man turned the flashlight on and shined it towards the windows looking into the diner, and immediately recoiled in horror. Terry, get in the truck! The man's words came out in nearly an autonomous response to the blood splattered across the diner's window. He then began to spin on his heel to get back in, but froze mid-turn as he saw her. Slowly shuffling around one of the cars came the visage of a little girl. Her jacket was torn at the sleeve, and her hair was matted and frayed as her face, cold and lacking all emotion, turned towards him. Her blue eyes were dull and smoky in this light, and her jacket and shirt were coated in dried blood from the open wound across her neck. Stephen started to hyperventilate as he looked into those dead eyes of a corpse forced into motion. It was only when he heard a hard thunk coming from the truck that he was shocked into action. I just realized I did motion last time. All right. It was only as he heard a hard thunk coming from the truck that he was shocked into action. Movement lent speed as the little girl's arms came up and the wispy hiss of a moan escaped the ruptured windpipe of her slit throat. Yet the truck was sporting a new adornment it did not have previously, as a pillar of bone stuck out from the body of the door. This momentary realization slowed him until a sickening shunk of a sound hit his arm, which sprouted a similar bone pillar now. As Stephen cried out in agony, there were two more thunks that came from the other side of the truck. Terry managed to push away and sidestep two more bones flung at him with intent, before he got back inside and slammed the door shut. He did not leave his senior, though, and crawled over the center console to settle in the driver's seat, before drawing his hand out to grab Stephen's collar. With some intense encouragement, he yanked the man towards the door and looped an arm around him and pulled him against his body and lap before he put the truck out of park. "Hang on!" The young man cried out as he gunned the truck, which kicked Stephen's feet out from under him and dragged him for the ride. Yet fortunately he was now grabbing hard with his unwounded arm and hand at the center console, while Terry turned the wheel, knocking the child's corpse away and turning the truck back towards the road. He wanted to try and turn around, but as he looked up at the rear view mirror, he saw a gathering of things, for that is what best described the skeletal monstrosities waiting on the road they had driven up. He could not take the road east, for the car crash on it was a clear sign, aided by more abominations hobbling from the woods. A similar tale to the western road, save the presence of a crumpled car. Thus he raced ahead towards Point Crescent, at least for a short enough distance to break initial contact. As the truck stopped, he helped to pull Stephen in across his lap and towards the passenger seat. He heard the crunching sound as the bones began wiggling. This caused his senior to cry out in pain as the pillar acted to burrow in deeper, but Terry grabbed it and pulled hard, freeing it from the man's arm and tossing it outside. As he turned to look during the removal of the bone, he saw a ghastly sight as a fresh buck, with fur and hide dangling and face torn apart, dashed straight for the vehicle. Its antlers punctured the side of the car door, but did not have enough force to ingress further into the vehicle. With Stephen at least fully inside the truck now, the choice was obvious, and thus Terry slammed on the accelerator. With a powerful lurch, the truck jumped forward and dragged the horrific stag with them until the antlers rattled loose and fell away, along with the bones that had not found flesh but metal. "Oh, fuck! Kid, I'm dying here." Terry was gasping, and the words of his partner only briefly brought him back to sense. As he turned to look at the man, he saw a steady stream of blood oozing from the wound and soaking through the uniform. "Tear the sleeve! Hang on!" The young man let off the accelerator and let the vehicle coast forward under its momentum, as he turned and with both hands grabbed and tore the entire sleeve free of the wounded arm. He quickly cast a glance back to make sure their path was clear, for he took the now free fabric and started to tie it and cinch it down firmly against Stephen's arm, leaving the bloody hole exposed further out on his upper arm. He had no idea if he had done it correctly, but such was what he often saw in movies and shows to slow the bleeding and keep someone alive longer. Once Stephen was safe, as best the pair could tell, he turned his gaze away from the whimpering man and looked in the mirrors. Far behind them, a gathering of dead things had given chase, but soon enough were slowing and turning back towards the diner. And this newfound respite from the sheer panic and horror that they had just faced, his mind cleared enough to grab for the truck's radio. Mayday, mayday, mayday. This is Terry Winters of Carmen Light and Power. Does anyone read me? In this moment he realized he had yet to turn it on properly. As he did so, a harsh crackling and static came over the line. He then chose to repeat himself, and as he spoke, the words seemed to rebound and gurgle from the radio itself, once he let go of the receiver. What the fuck? Why is the radio not working? Stephen called out as he had managed to right himself in the passenger's seat, and winced while looking at the hole in his left arm. It's all static and noise. Finally, the adrenaline started to wear off, and the young man shivered in the driver's seat. His eyes felt heavy, and his breath came in panting waves before he started processing what was going on. Fucking, I think we know why Point Crescent hasn't been responding. Yeah, you hear stories of zombies and skeletons. Dragon work, they say, but you don't expect to. Yeah. Terry said in agreement before he started hitting the steering wheel with the palm of his hand. This signaled the last embers of the adrenaline draining through his system, and he started to gasp and laugh. We made it, though. We fucking made it. What if the point is overrun with those things? One step at a time, old man. We find safety, and then we can get out the aid kit from the back of the truck. The town is fucked, well. We'll just turn back and bulldoze our way through as best we can. Sound like a plan? Stephen didn't answer, but nodded his head before he slumped back in the seat. His arm was going numb at this point, but at least the flow of blood had slowed to a small trickle. He then let his head lean back and slowly closed his eyes, trusting in his young partner to get them to a safe place. And thus as the adrenaline in him crashed, so too did he, and drifted to sleep. Alright, that's the first part of Chapter 13. So again, introducing a couple new characters. Pretty late in the book by, normal standards, right? But they're the obvious logical consequence, right? The town's power is fluctuating. The radios are all cut off. They can't call out. They can't do anything. There's something clearly going wrong. So rather than the outside world just ignoring the obvious signs, the power company in Carmen is going to notice that the power is fluctuating. It's not a steady stream of power. There's not a steady draw on the meter anymore, right? They're going to notice that the meter is jumping, right? And it's lower than usual. So obviously, they're going to send somebody out to investigate. Hey, we're not getting any word. We supply power to that town up there. We're not getting any word from them. Can you go out and check it out? And again, it's also kind of highlighting the inexperience the necromancer has when dealing with situations like this, right? If you noticed in the thing, I don't know if it'll be that obvious. It's probably more obvious than I tell you. The creatures weren't smart in how they were, trying to attack the vehicle, right? If they had done the obvious thing, if they had fired into the engine block, or if they had shot at the tires with the little finger darts, they could have popped the tires. They could have damaged the engine. They could have kept them from escaping. But it's obvious that their programming is just kill, so they're aiming for the body. They're just trying to hit the people. Same thing with the buck and its antlers. It tried to gore where the person would be, not anything actually valuable, so it hit the door. But again, so it's just how this plan has cleverness to it, but the necromancer isn't a strategic genius. They don't know exactly what they're doing. This is their first foray into hey, I'm going to take a really isolated backwater town, I'm going to kill everybody in it, raise them up, get a bigger army and everything, and then keep going. Yeah, Zombie Buck makes a damn good roadblock. Yep. And that's the other thing, too, is that's why he didn't just turn around and try to head back towards Carmen and let them know what was going on. Because there's a bunch of things on the road now. Because it's obviously a trap, right? They're trying to trap more and more people showing up to Walt Wendell's diner and kill them, and the necromantic energies raise them as a corpse. Now, the necromancer themselves can then ply their trade and manipulate the corpse and change it into different things, hence the abomination that was earlier, the chimera that attacked. But this is obviously just like, hey, pre-programmed, kill things, let the energy bring them up, keep the order going, kill things, get more. That's all you gotta do. So she hasn't really put a lot of thought into, like, yeah, but why didn't you think that somebody was going to come investigate? Why didn't you think of this and that, right? She's not a super genius. She's just dangerous because she's a necromancer. All right. Now, next section for chapter 13. Victoria wandered through the bunker, getting herself familiarized with its layout. Being on the bottom floor wasn't convenient, especially given the zigzag nature of the staircase placements. Such was the price for making the bunker more defensible. Yet she was grateful to be inside the warmth of it all. Some amongst those sheltered were present at the prayer earlier, and thus would try and strike up conversation with her. Most were under the impression that she had the blood of the wolf in her veins as well, yet she would politely correct them. A few wanted to learn her story, why she came to be here, especially at Alex's side. One of them, a woman named Susan, even confessed to being jealous of her closest to Alex, but such was the wont of wolves, not those that were still unawakened to dictate. Certainly an odd notion that someone would be jealous of her already, yet deep down she had to admit it felt nice. Someone else had seen the same interest in him that she had, thus comforted her thoughts and eased her doubts. And I hope that makes sense of, like, why someone would be like, knowing that somebody is jealous of you, like, having an interest in somebody else, is, it can be like a comfort, knowing that you're not the only person, you're not crazy, you're not the only person that sees something desirable in another person, right? It's that weird sensation where it's like, oh, yeah, be jealous, bitch. No, it's that, like, weird sensation of, like, okay, cool, I'm not crazy. Somebody else actually likes him the same way I do. That's actually comforting. I'm not like the weirdo of the group. All right. Such thoughts were cast aside in the face of the threat and tragedy they were already facing. The current harbinger of ill tidings were a pair of children, brother and sister, that sat gloomily in the mess hall. The pair of them had spent more time in makeshift construction of the food piles on their plates than actually eating, and the girl would have brief sobbing fits that were only calmed by her brother's hand on her own. The largest tragedy, unbeknownst to the pair, was that Victoria was not unfamiliar with this sight, and such pains were often inflicted by her own loved ones. A dark stain upon her heart that ached at every moment she cast even fleeting thought towards her own family. Part of her wanted to slink away and curl up on the bed Alex had picked out for her. Yet she would not let this second chance at life pass into such miserable apathy. Instead, she strode over to the pair of children and engaged, casting aside all doubts and worry to try and give back a semblance of hope to those who had lost it. For this she went and retrieved a small portion of food and approached them. "May I sit with you?" She kept her voice calm and soft, letting them dictate how the flow of the conversation and interaction would go. "Why?" The boy's words snapped out quickly, and his hand came to squeeze his sister's own firmly. "Because we were all in this together," Victoria said with a soft smile, and then placed the small plate with a measly helping of food down before nodding her head. "You're a wonderful brother, far better than any I had." The boy's face softened some, and he turned his gaze away. The quiet settled in for but a moment as Victoria took the chance to carry the conversation a little further. You're very protective of your sister. Something I wish I had with my own family. She let her voice trail off, thoughts circulating about the past, distant or otherwise, before she continued. No matter what happens, you both will have each other. Through thick and thin, in these bad times and in better times to come. The words brought a soft sobbing from the girl who had yet to speak. The boy turned his head to look at her and squeezed her hand firmly once more. I will protect you. His words came soft, but firmly, as a declaration despite this current tragedy. This elicited a few sniffles from his sister, who looked to him and nodded her head. That is the spirit. You have a good brother, little missy, and your father is recovering well. Keep these bonds close at hand. You are lucky that you have them. Not all of us were so fortunate. This then turned the girl's head to look at Victoria, who offered a smile. Did you not have... Her words trailed off as her shyness settled in at last. I did not. My family are a cruel thing, pretending to be otherwise. Obsessed with power over others and causing harm to any that do not obey them. For the longest time I prayed and wished they would be different, but alas, such was not to be. That is why you two must cherish each other, protect and watch over one another. She reached a hand out and lightly tousled the girl's hair before turning to look at the boy. You are indeed a wonderful brother. May I know your names? I am Thomas, and my sister is Elaine. Well, Thomas and Elaine, I hope you know that all of us here are there to help you. You don't need to sit alone or shy away. The people of the Point are determined to get through this nightmare. Is Dad really going to be okay? Of course. This was no lie, for after parting ways with the others, she stayed for a time to speak with the good doctor. The man who had dragged his family away, the man who lost his wife but saved his children, was breathing easier and steady. Color was back within his face, and he was clearly on the rebound. The surgery had gone well to remove the finger bone that ached, that acted as a dart in his side. Why don't we go visit with him for a time? The children both nodded their heads and were starting to get up from the benches connected to the tables. Victoria, though, raised a hand and stopped them for a time. Stopped them. Let's not do for a time again, because we just did for a time last time. And stop them. And we'll just cut there. First eat up. You need your strength. Can't let anything go to waste while we're in the midst of this crisis. She instead settled down beside them and started to eat the small portion she had taken for herself. This then got the children to turn back and start to actually consume their food, wanting to get it done quickly and return to their father's side. It was a small thing in the grand scheme. The children wouldn't be necessary for the defense of the town. They couldn't really do much to help out beyond superficial tasks. Yet these small moments, acts of kindness and care in the face of such ghoulish horror, is what allowed others to endure. The mess hall had been a gloomy and sorrowful place. We'll try that again. The mess hall had been a gloomy and sorrowful place before, while now it seemed to have that little bit of extra warmth to it. Alright, and that's the second part for Chapter 13. Victoria's section, and what she's up to while Alex and them are gone. Ugh. Again, more emphasis here on, who are the actual victims. It's not just, this isn't just like an action thing and nameless people are dying. They're losing loved ones. These are actual people, These were living, breathing, people with their own thoughts, own cares, their own dreams and desires. Which is all the more reason why, when they defeat the Necromancer, Alex, doesn't give a shit about her reasoning. He cares not for the crocodile tears of the demon. Like, oh no, the dwarven clans, they killed your family in a pogrom to remove all magic users that weren't dwarves. Oh no, how horrible. That doesn't excuse a single thing you fucking did over here in Rosentia. And again, it's re-emphasizing the lesson that Alex was trying to teach Victoria earlier, was everybody has their reasons. Like, your family, your own family had their reasons they did everything they did. Doesn't make them good people. Doesn't even make what they did, like, acceptable or okay. Alright. Now the next section. The truck progressed along the snow-covered tracks, following what could best be described as an old cart trail, oft ignored and even less ever actually used. It wasn't a trail that needed much attention, with only a rare few that were even aware of its existence to begin with. Sheriff John happened to be one amongst them, for keeping tabs on all nearby entities, especially ones of such incredible power as a dragon, was part of his duties. Dragonkind were the walking, breathing, flying, living embodiment of power itself. Nothing could come close to their raw destructive potential, or the forces of magic they commanded. Sole amongst all the species and entities of creation, dragons could use contradictory magics, for magic came from them and lived through them. It was the Third World War that made this abundantly clear. All atomic weaponry cast against the newly revealed dragons were swatted away as if a fly. Even so, the war continued. Invasions of their holdings, attempting to beard the dragons in their own homes. Trench warfare came back to the fore as the Dracain and Dracmolkind dug in to defend the Dracorin and their own lives. Through the combined efforts of the shifters living in Rosentia, the capital sued for peace, the first of the world's superpowers to formally acknowledge their place beneath Dragonkind. The Sahir never bothered to join the conflict, for they had known of dragons the longest, and the lizardmen found themselves in good company at each den and network. The Golden Dawn Imperium, the Dwarven clan holds, and the myriad other nations of the world only found out after Hattori. The terrible beast of the Night of Sorrows, Davarixus, put the entire world on notice with one brutal and cruel stroke. He had grown tired of the attacks on his kindred and his own horde, having hoped that the withdrawal of Rosentia would inspire the others to come to heel. Alas, the fighting continued, and thus Davarixus put his plan into motion. Through third-party negotiations, he gathered many hundreds of cameramen and agencies in a flotilla to anchor off the shore of the island of Hattori. Once all were gathered, he made his presence known, revealing himself in front of all the cameras, and explained his ultimatum. If the world did not end the fighting within the hour, he would show the world the force they were actually attempting to rouse from the dragons. It is a tragedy written in history that none heeded the words, and thus all became glued to their television screens. With the words resounding to this day, "You made your choice." The great black and gray dragon raised his right hand and snapped his finger. Within just a moment, the shrieks and cries of agony erupted so loud they threatened to deafen all those present, and then silence. The dragon departed with no further words, and few amongst the flotilla of news media were brave enough to stick around. Those that did and investigated Hattori learned the terrible truth. All sentient life had been snuffed out in an instant, leaving nothing but dust and phantom clothing that fell where once the living had been. Draped over now empty cribs, pajamas left under the cover of bedsheets, vehicles crashed with clothes left in the driver's seat. A city and 2 towns with a dozen myriad villages had all been deprived of their inhabitants. The world was outraged, but the message was clear. It stood no chance against them, and thus must swallow this bitter pill or suffer worse fates. The shifters knew better, though. The dragons were the apex, but they could be bested, and the spell that Davarixus used was one that took incredible amounts of preparation to pull off. That spell itself had been a trick, for a year later the residents of Hattori appeared once more, naked and afraid, standing in the fields at the heart of the island. For 1 year they had vanished. 1 year to the exact minute the spell was set into motion. The world had had no explanation for it, but the shifters knew the truth of it. Any that could see the other side of the mirror could see the spirits locked into it. Trapped for a full year, aware and unable to function or move before being shunted back to the mundane plane. Davarixus had been cruel, but not in the way originally thought. For Hattori syndrome became a new condition amongst the people of the island, for fear of being locked in that place of nightmares again. Thus, should a dragon come to the aid of Point Crescent, the vile corpse violator would stand no chance. Vinter would not need such a grandiose display of his power, for even just basic spell work from a dragon was a devastating thing. Putting even a modicum amount of effort would allow the dragon to utilize contradictions to hopeless effect. Though perhaps John should reel back his praise, for a dragon could still be bested, and 9 times out of 10 it was because they were too arrogant for their own good. A mageling could in theory bring low such a magical powerhouse simply through careful planning and luck. Slowly the truck began to ride up on the ridgeline that marked the approach to the first outpost. What appeared to be an old and abandoned camping ground, long left in disrepair, was just a facade for the danger that lurked within. John turned to look at Richard and Andrew that had come with him to this diplomatic meeting. Locked for a year in one spot would drive me insane. Oh yeah, and it wasn't just like a normal happy spot. It wasn't just locked in like a phantom memory of what was there. No. He locked them in the spirit realm, the divine realm, the other side of the mirror, right? The sideways. He locked them inside of the thing that is attached to the world but separate from it. So they got to be there, stuck for an entire year as the phantoms, the shades, the predators, the spirits of terror and fear, of hatred and loathing were like running rampant through them. Couldn't harm them directly, but remember we've already described what a spirit of terror looked like. Now, they don't all look the same, but we described what this spirit of terror looked like. Imagine that staring you in the face. Right. Can't say for certain they will have kept their old habits, but that abandoned place ahead is where we'll meet with their perimeter guard. If things are still the same, I'll leave the truck and approach alone after we stop in the lot. Do not do anything hasty or make any sudden movements. The 2 men nodded their heads before John drove the truck forward and pulled into the overgrown lot that perhaps at one point had been for parking. As the sheriff was about to get out of the truck, there was the sudden crack of a gunshot. This made everyone in the truck flinch and instantly start looking around. Thankfully, none of them were suddenly leaking, and thus John focused intently on the surrounding area, where where he saw something shambling from one of the run-down buildings with its arms swaying loosely. As his focus came onto the thing, the head suddenly exploded in a shower of gore as another gunshot resounded and made the entire group again flinch. Before any further actions could be taken, a small reptilian thing stepped out from inside and placed a scaled foot on the corpse. The little creature then jumped up and down before screeching out something that was muffled from the distance and windows of the vehicle. John cast a glance back and slowly got out of the truck, for he raised his hands out to either side to show he wasn't trying to reach for anything. This brought the small creature to level the gun up towards the sheriff. John stood his ground and instead began to speak steadily, his words coming out in the melodic tones of the dragons as he kept careful eye on the creature. This being was one of the drachmal kind, one of only 2 species that broke the traditional dragon naming convention to denote sentience. These small creatures, the one in front of John currently would have come to just above his stomach in height, were nigh fanatical followers of dragon kind. I mean you no harm. The sheriff gazed turned down towards the corpse, realizing that it had several wounds all across it. It was clear it had even started rotting, thus he came to the obvious conclusion. I believe your troubles are related to our own, and I would request an audience with your lord. Alright, and that's what I have so far. That leads us up to literally the end of chapter 170. The moment I put it in another sentence, it's going to page 171, I mean. So yeah. There you go, chat. There you go. That's what we're up to now. I need to fill in the conversation that John is going to have with the drachmal kind and get them started on their journey to the mountain itself proper. Then we're going to jump back to Harkus and them in the bar, where Harkus is going to be like, I'm not coming back to the bunker without my, protection. I'll be like, okay, you can get your protection. Thanks for, we saved your life. You're welcome. But whatever, go get your protection. And he's going to pop out with a silver stake and be like, aha! Stay back. Again, not realizing that silver doesn't actually work on the werewolves. Well, on these werewolves, I should say. Because remember, you have the false sulfur, and it does work on false sulfur because they're fake werewolves. And silver is the metal of truth. So, yeah. Yeah, chat. That is good. Hopefully you guys liked the section for, Victoria and for the electrical technicians that are coming in. Man, John, Richard, and Andrew are about to go meet with a lot more of the drachmal kind, and they're gonna meet a Drakine, they're gonna have obviously I've talked about it before, the exchange of being like how old are you? 36. 3,600 years already. Wow. No. 36. We don't just spring up out of the ground at age 300 or some shit. We actually have to go through the normal aging process too. Yes, my kind might be ageless, but come on. We don't all start off at advanced ages. I am very young in terms of my race's ability to live. $3,600? No, just 36. No, you silly goober. Alright. Here in a second, chat, I might lower the desk, too. I've been standing this whole time. Alright, give me a second. Take off my headphones. Well, for someone 30 years old with 3,000 years of experience. Yep. Well, again, a lot of people just have that misconception because, you hear about, dragons are ageless and things like that. The Drakine, who are a step below dragons, are also ageless. So they get that whole idea of, every one of them you meet is this wonderful font of knowledge passed down through millennia of lifetime. And it's no, I'm only 36. Now, my dad, he's 1,350, But I'm only 36. Oh, and same thing for dragons. Oh man, I grew up on TikTok. Thankfully, TikTok doesn't exist in this world. You have similar things like YouTube and streaming and stuff like that, right? But it's not as globally interconnected. Because again, there's not a global currency. Like, you have notes of, we talked about this before, you have notes of trade, which are kind of be like, we will guarantee that this person has this much money, right? But there's no, like the Resentian money, the Golden Dawn Imperium's money, the clan holds, the Sahir, none of them have a universalized currency. They don't have a domination in currency. No. No. You don't have China or anything. There's no United States, there's no China, there's nothing. Right? Rosentia is the most like the US. Only it's far more of an actual republic than the weird thing we have going on right now. The capital of Rosentia is literally Rosentia. That was the capital city. It's now just been colloquially called the capital. But that's how republics start, right? They start with the one city, and then it starts expanding and growing its power. That's what happened with Rosentia. But it has a lot more of the freedoms you'd expect. They want all their citizens armed. They want all, you're allowed to criticize and do things like speak out against the governance and everything. Governance is representation of the people, but it's very strict. Again, this is a world where you have a lot of diversity in it, but that diversity actually causes the problem. Because, again, humans are going to advocate for human things. The lizardmen of the Sahir are going to advocate for lizardmen things. The dwarves of the Dwarven clan holds are going to advocate for dwarf things. The elves of the Golden Dawn Imperium are going to advocate for elf things. They're all different. That causes the problem. Yeah, I know, right? Oh, give me a second. I'm going to lower the desk. Alright, we're going on a journey. Chad, you're leaving me. You're leaving me behind. Alright, I'm going to have to lower the thing now. Un moment. Pull this here. Pull this here. And now move the webcam. Ugh! Well, hello there. Alright. Yeah, so, again, they have things like they have very, very strict currency control. Because it's not a global currency. So they had very strict currency control in Rosentia, hence why stuff like inflation, it took 80 years for it to double. Right? That's a pretty good inflation rate. Because you have to, at some point, print more money. You cannot have, a finite amount of money and only maintain it forever if your population continues to increase. Right? Because then you get into the crazy situation where people then stop spending money entirely and you actually run out. You can't give it to new people. You can't get new workers or anything in because there's no money to actually give them. You have to actually print in these situations. But that's what they're very strict about. They only do it in situations like that, where they're very conscious about the population level within Rosentia. And that's the only thing that triggers new money being printed at a very controlled rate. That's why when Victoria stole $400,000 from her father, that's a lot of money. Liquidity crisis, and it's And it's the economy in general, not just population. So again, they're like I said, they're trying to be very, very careful with this stuff. It's also why, and it's dealt with more in Beneath the Canopy. The Everglade is under constant investigation by the Resentian government because they do things that are not like that seem illogical. Like, remember, Everglade is a conglomerate, is a massive conglomerate of companies. He has over 16 companies underneath the umbrella of Everglade. But he ousts all the CEOs of those companies and he puts his own people in charge. But his own people are only taking like a fifth of the salary that the old CEOs took. So they couldn't compete to begin with anyways. Because they're like, okay, we're going to cut your salary down to 20% of what you have now. If you want to stay on? No, you probably want to get paid at a different company? All right, bye. And so again, that's why they're like investigated all the time. Because like, okay, you have to be doing something fucking weird. Like, I don't trust any of this nonsense. Who in their right mind would work for so little? At you know, if you're this level, right? Also, his business dealings are private. He has nobody. He has no investors or third parties or anything in. All of this is through his own finances. So he could basically, you know, he's the fucking king of the castle, basically. Hold on a second, let me. Whoop, there we go. I'm the fucking king of this castle. I get to say what goes on here. But yeah. So again, they are very like heavily about currency control. They want to make sure that people don't hoard wealth, right? They want to make sure that wealth is actually being utilized, that the money is actually flowing. So they're very keenly keeping track of the economy, right? They want to make sure that, like, you don't run into these sorts of crises, but you also don't have a runaway fucking money printer that devalues all your fucking currency. So they are very, like, the Treasury Department of Rosentia is very, very fucking strict. Now, it has led to other downsides of it, because again, you can't, it's not perfect, right? That's the problem, right there. It's not perfect. You have not only real estate speculation, but you have money speculators in general, right? There's no perfect solution to everything. You can't have just one system and it's perfect forever, right? Funnily enough, Spice and Wolf actually deals with that whole thing of currency speculation. Yeah, so essentially, like, they do their best. This is the best system they have found to keep things from getting out of hand. But obviously, you have the problems of speculators in the market. Speculative markets drive me up a fucking wall. Oh God, don't. Yeah, you're gonna. Like I said, there's no perfect 100% system, right? There are always going to be people who will find a way to manipulate and take advantage of the current system. It's just the way it fucking works. Especially if you want to try to keep the market volatile. Uh, okay, I know how that sounds, right? So a lot of people like, you want a stable market. You don't actually. Stable market is stagnation. That's really, really fucking bad. You want a market that's a little rocky. Now, you don't want one to be like wildly up and down and up and down and up and down. That's not what you want. But you want something that's a little rocky. You want to be able to have innovation. You want people to actually take chances. You want people to actually invest things. You want people to actually go out and buy goods and try new things. You don't get that when a market stagnates. When a market starts stagnating, that's when you get into fucking big problems. When money is no longer flowing freely, when money is now being hoarded and kept and only spent in very, like, very minute things, it starts affecting your technology centers. It starts affecting your ability to advance. Like, nobody's taking chances anymore because nobody wants to rock the boat. Blech. Yeah. Anyways, it gets. Well, we'll be dealing much more with markets and stuff like that. Markets and money and things like that will be much more in Beneath the Canopy. That's kind of more. Each one of these is more like whatchamacallit. Like, each one's kind of its own sort of pseudo genre. Like Guardians of Nature was more like an action adventure kind of ensemble thing. Den of the Arctic Wolf is kind of a romancy with a bit of action in it, right? It's a romantasy, but not the creepy ass fucking shit you see that's all about porn. House of Desires is more like a criminal underground police procedural, like kind of like police procedural from the perspective of the criminals, because the way that La Pradia is its underworld is kept so in check is because of Smiling Wolf Studios. They act like basically an organized crime racket to like keep things in check, keep things calm. So you don't have a lot of like drug havens and like stash houses and things like that, because the werewolves of Smiling Wolf Studios are basically like cleaning up the streets. It's their fucking territory, and they don't want people shitting in their backyard, basically. So that one's going to be more like a police procedural or like a crime drama thing. You have Beneath the Canopy is much more dealing with like economic things and factors, and just from the perspective of a conglomerate and what a conglomerate could actually do when run by an actual moral and ethical person, right? When it's not a publicly traded entity, when it's a privately owned entity, you could do a lot more of ethical things with it. The public part is what leads into needing to adhere and obey investors and everything, right? And Smiling Wolf is more than happy to sell you Sin, yeah. Again, Jonathan's whole idea behind Smiling Wolf Studios is to, like, he's trying to soften the blow, right? Lipton Tea, Arizona Iced Tea, Waffle House, Hobby Lobby, shockingly. Though Hobby Lobby did get in a bit of trouble for, smuggling, but they were actually smuggling in religious artifacts that were going to get destroyed in their home countries. So, like, I might as well take the Christian religious iconography that's going to be destroyed in the home countries and smuggle them into the United States, and I'll put them in my own fucking museum, baby. Where they will be protected and safe. And people could go view them. Like, his museum is open to the public. You can go view it. But yeah, it's his. Oh, I agree. Yeah, anyways. Yeah, Smiling Wolf is very much like Jonathan Ulfither's idea is like to lessen the blow by normalizing the concept of werewolves not as monsters. Even if he's like, hey, if I get people to not panic and scream and freak out, and it's only because they're thinking about like, wood, I'm okay with that. I can live with that. Because they're getting to where technology is getting to the place where they can't keep the secret forever. What is hidden in the shadows cannot be kept secret forever. Especially because like there are more cameras everywhere than ever. People have cameras in their phones and everything. Like, you're not going to be able to hold on to this for all time. It is going to slip out, just like what happened with the dragons being revealed in World War III starting. The shifters are going to be exposed. Scream's bad, squeeze good. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what he's thinking of it as, right? Now, he's not like delusional. He's not like, oh, this is the only way. No, he's like, this is his way. Because this is what he knows. He knows lust. That's his sin. He knows it. He knows what he can do with it. He knows how to push it and what limitations to push it to. Like, that's what he knows. That's his bread and butter. So he will peddle the porn but specifically to lessen the blow of when the big reveal happens. When the curtain is raised and it's like, oh yeah, by the way, they are actually real. So you might have, like, walking down the streets, any number of those people could actually be like shifters in disguise and you wouldn't know it. And he has the logical conclusion, because, like, everybody should have the logical conclusion. It's like, that's not going to be a day of happiness when that happens. When the whole world realizes that, hey, werewolves and were-ravens and were-bears and were-sharks, things like that, all that's real, that's not going to be a day of celebration. That's going to be a very dark time. Because that will be mass paranoia. That is mass panic, mass paranoia, mass distrustfulness, and everything around you. That's not a good time. So again, anything he can do to lessen the blow. In fact, the in-universe joke is that Jonathan Olfither is the one that created the furry community. That's the in-universe joke that is actually going to be used in-universe as well. I saw something. They can, if they're in their specific forms. The were-sharks, or I have a specific name for them. I don't have it on hand, and it's not something I need to remember because I don't write about them much yet. But I do have them saved. Hold on. The Salaroran are the were-sharks. Now, they have the 5 phases of... they have the 5 castes like the werewolves do, right? Oh, yeah, but, again, how many governments would be happy about that? How many normal people would be happy, right? Do the were-sharks cause mermaid myths, or are there actual mermaids? They did, in fact, cause mermaid myths, but that's an obfuscation of a couple things. Some of them are just hiding for the fact of were-shark attacks, to begin with, and others are to hide the fact that there are spirits, and again, spirits aren't a monolithic force. Spirits have their own personalities, they have their own identities, their own wants and cares. Like, you could be best friends with the spirit of terror. There's nothing that stops you from being friends with the spirit of terror. But a spirit of terror gains its sustenance from people being afraid. But if you're an adrenaline junkie that likes going to haunted houses and like roller coasters and shit like that, getting that kind of scare, that rush that it could feed on, it'll be more than happy to be like, yeah, no, you're cool. We're peeps. So, but there are spirits that will like that come to the conclusion that people are the problem, right? Yeah. So, yeah, again, that's the whole thing of, like, it's that whole thing of, like, suddenly revealing that your neighbor could be a monster, right? People aren't going to handle that well. Rosentia is in the best position to handle that. The Sahir is well. So the Sahir, the reason that they're in the best position is because the lizardmen already know that the were-crocs exist, that the were-crocodiles are actually a thing. And the I think they're the Kuroxen? Hold on a second, let me make sure I get that correctly. I haven't written about them yet either in much detail, so I haven't had to, like, you know, say that. The Kuroxen are the were-crocs. I've had to write more about the Volpavin and everything like that. So the Revorin, the Volpavin, and the Barovin I've already written about. So, but yeah, so the Sahir are fine with were-crocodiles existing because the Sahir are very much like lizardmen dominant. So having were-crocodiles, like, they don't see it as like a bad thing. They're like, oh, okay, no, look, you turn into basically like a big lizard. You know, we're cool. It's the same reason why the Sahir were, like, not upset that dragons existed. They're like, yeah, so fucking what? We already knew they existed. We didn't care. But Rosentia has been steered by, especially the werewolves, the Wolverine themselves, through a lot of its history. Which is why they have a lot more spiritualism in them. They have a lot more like local shrines and myths and urban legends. They have house spirits that are at the spirit totem in the attic and everything. Like, Rosentia is far more primed to be accepting of the fact that werewolves and weresharks and werefoxes and all that stuff exist. So, again, then that's been centuries of manipulation. It's hard. It sounds bad to say it that way, but that's what it is, right? They've been carefully they know this game can't last forever. They know the secrecy can't hold up forever. It's going to happen. Hence why Grey Wolf's motto is "War is coming." There is no stopping it. War will be coming. There will be a battle for if these shifters are allowed to even exist in this world. Or if it's just going to be constant bloodshed and fighting and distrust and everything. So, William Lowell, a.k.a. Strithelfur, and his tribe, Grey Wolf, are specifically going to be we're going to make sure that when the war comes, we are so dominant in fighting that anybody that has any, ideas of taking us on militarily is going to think twice. Jonathan, you keep doing your thing to, get people to be a little less freaked out about it. Michael and you guys keep doing your thing to spread awareness and knowledge through the wolf sanctuaries and all that stuff. Keep doing these other things. We're not telling you you're all stupid. We're just preparing for the obvious, scenario of it's going to get down to fighting. There's going to be fighting. There's no getting around that. There will be blood for blood. Alrighty. Oh, I'm way up in the air. Whee! Oh, old White Wolf, how I miss you. Oh, shit. Shit. Okay. Okay. Alright, do I remember the controls? Okay. Oh yeah, I need to, hold on, do this. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Alright. Yeah, I'm remembering the controls a bit. Okay, so I need to now start looking for silver. So, find a piece of the grenade launcher, optional, collect pieces of silver here at the theater district. Okay. Yeah. Wait, what fuck, what'd that say? I shouldn't have just clicked through that so quickly. That was dumb of me. Begone, rots! Begone! Again, we're doing this because we need EXP too. We need to buff our character up, right? Yeah, so like the werewolves, the weresharks, 11 more pieces of silver needed. You have found some silver. Man, we want to make sure we have a lot of silver for the werewolf we're gonna fight. And let's keep track of if we can figure out what tribe they're with and what auspice they are. If we can figure that out through what they do. I do want to play Hunter the Reckoning Redeemer, but again, it's labeled as a cautionary ROM because it might not function properly. Not at all, because they could be on mission, right? So that'll be the first one. Are there multiple werewolves, or is it one werewolf? That will be a thing at first too. What are they doing here? What are they up to? That can help us clue in what they are. What gifts will they use? If they use any at all? Like, there's all kinds of little context clues we can get to try to figure out our little werewolfies. Ah! Spider! Ah! Ow! Owie. Owie, my face. Okay. I just want to make sure, because we got to make sure we don't miss any equipment or anything we could break apart either, or like any like windows and storefronts, stuff like that we could. Oop. Good.
They're gonna kill me.
Ah, 10 more pieces. But yeah, Rapar, you missed us. I went through what we have of chapter 13 thus far in the book. On Friday, we're gonna go through, or we're gonna start going through all of Guardians of Nature. I'm gonna keep notations and lists about like what I want added, what I want to change. And one of the things I definitely am adding is I realized I never properly described what Lepradia looks like. I've given context clues and hints what it looks like. But it's like, I need to actually go through with it and explain everything. So this is the place that has that strange door, right? Or was that in the first Hunter the Reckoning game? Alright, so there's a side street there. We're definitely going to check for stuff. No ammo. Nothing. Okay. Judge has improved his skills. Nice. What do we level up this time? I can't tell. Damn. I know we have a lot of our stats in 3 block now, and a couple of them that are lower. Yeah, this is why we're also killing everything to make sure we upgrade our stats. Since we're doing all this solo. Yeah, this back here is where the door should be. Whoa! What? No. Okay, so it can't damage anything there. It looks like it's just a clip thing. 9 more pieces of silver needed. That's probably all the silver in this area. You found some silver. Oh, okay. Neat. Yep. Ooh! Look what I see! Picked up a machine gun! Ah! Arbor light for everyone! Okay, so now the thing we're looking for is we need the grenade launcher. The piece of the grenade launcher. Yeah, upgraded machine gun. Hell yeah. We went from a subgun to a rifle, and it's clearly an old model Armalite because it's got full auto on it. Actually... Oh, 3-round burst. Oh, that actually reminds me, you know how everybody jokes about the FAMAS having, like, a 3-round burst, but then it has a magazine capacity that isn't divisible by 3 rounds? Well, as it turns out, because they made the magazine first and they wanted straight a straight magazine as much as possible, which limited the capacity on it. And then it was only later, it was only later that they actually had the requirement as part of the contract to put in a 3-round burst. After FAMAS had already built all the models and everything, and you know. FAMAS then had to look at them like the guy in the office, like, why are you the way that you are? You accepted the contract, and now you're gonna say we won't accept the contract if you don't put a 3-round burst in? What the fuck? What? What? That is why the FAMAS has a 3-round burst, but a magazine that is not divisible by 3. Woo! Oh, I got lucky there. I was like, I heard you. I heard you, you little shit. I'm not gonna get blown up by a fucking spider. Yeah. The biggest joke in thinking is that a lot of these things... Yeah. People always claim everything about like firearms and guns and everything. They have no fucking concept of how any of them actually work or anything like that. It's just so fucking frustrating. Keep in mind, remember too, the French with Ubisoft tried to make an anti-gun song by making them all sound like nuts. The religious fundamentalists in Fallout, or sorry, not Fallout, Far Cry. Keep your rifle by your side, singing, "Oh Lord, this place was meant for us." Singing, "Oh Lord." And it's like, no, you actually made a banger of a fucking song. Everybody is like, no, that's a great song. That is marking a hidden weapon piece. It must be in the trash can. My favorite part about it though is when Pippa and it was Pippa and someone else were both singing it. We're making fun of you, Chud, and meanwhile everybody that like hears that song is like, yeah, this is our new anthem. Alas, I am poor. More people should learn about them. Yep. Well, again, there are genuinely budget-friendly firearms you could get. There we go. I've talked about it before, but the Maverick 88 from Mossberg is a $200 shotgun. Okay. That's crazy. And it's a really good one, too. It's not some, like, Turkish special. It's actually a genuinely good shotgun. What, like the Chris Vector? I'm less sold on the Chris Vector, but I will fully admit I'm biased against it at this point. Oh, I just realized we got the upgraded shotgun. Hell yeah. Yeah. Oh, fuck. Okay. Bastard bitches everywhere. Woo! They're coming for me. No, take that one. Here's VTuber Vector. I want, there's the new actual, like, decent, bullpup. I want the Hellion. The VHS Hellion. I want an M1 Garand. Like, again, if we want just, like, dream guns, and I know how that sounds, I want an M1 Garand, I want a 1911. My grandfather has a Car 98K. So hopefully, you know, I will have that in the future. That's not me wishing anything untoward. That's just, you know, pragmatism. Nobody lives forever. And honestly, again, as much as I write about it, sometimes immortality and agelessness are very overrated, and they suck real hard. Oh! It lied to me. It said this is all the silver we would find, and no, I found more silver. Get fucked. Get fucked, messengers. You were wrong. Alright, I get a feeling like if we destroy all the, Oh, hi, gargoyles. Welcome. Wait, what? Did that actually, like, you just delete the one out of existence? Oh, lots of gargoyles. Yeah. Yeah, so the messengers were wrong. They said, so when we picked up the actual tin of silver, it said, like, that's all the silver in this level. Let's go. Oh. They was lying. Ah! I missed. Wonder how close we are to leveling up again. Alright, anyways, going back to check, I want to search for all the mannequins I can find. I want to make sure we got all of them. Plus, the other thing I would highly recommend for anyone to do is, like, learn to take care of the firearms you do have, right? Like, I don't care if you get a cheapy piece of shit. I don't care if you get a Taurus, right? I'd be concerned about you, like, your safety. But no matter what firearm you get, use it at the range, learn to take it apart, learn to clean it. Like, actually put in the effort of using and owning it. Like, take care of it properly. Oh, mannequin! Okay. I have no idea if there's going to be a secret from killing all these mannequins, but I'm going to do it anyways, because mannequins. I don't think there needs to be another reason. I just think mannequins should die. Remember the first game that this was a big, like, door here? Now it's just a small door. Oh my god. Yes, sir, I guarantee these bullets are pure silver. Yeah. I hear you. Where are you? Yeah. Well, same thing with cars, too. Like, one thing I would recommend, and I want to start doing... There's a vehicle. I want to get an old, like, 1940s car. maybe 30s would actually be more accurate, right? And I want to make it a resto mod. So for anyone that doesn't know what that is, resto mod means you're restoring the car to its visual old appearance, right? You're restoring the old vintage look of the car. But the mod part is like you're putting in modernized parts, right? Modification, modernization. You're putting in like actual new. You're putting in air conditioning. You're putting in like power windows, things like that. I don't really need the power windows. I'm totally fine rolling them up and everything. But yeah, it's just stuff like that. I think that's what I would do, and then I would want to get a power washer. I know we can't go that way. I'm making sure I don't miss nothing. I want to get a power washer and make sure, like, you know, every, like, couple weeks. Yeah, power steering and stuff, yeah. But every, like, couple weeks, I would probably, like, open up the hood and start, like, spraying it down and stuff like that. Just to make it last longer. Get the underbody, too. Putting in brakes that work. Stuff like that, yeah. Again, you can put in more powerful engine. That's what a lot of people do with resto mods. They put in more powerful engines. I don't really care about that. You know, this would definitely be a from A to B kind of car. I just want it to be nice. But again, you can save yourself a lot of headaches just by doing some preventative things. Like when you take your car out, like give it a thorough wash of the undercarriage every now and then, right? Oh yeah, we'll put in airbags and stuff. 100%. Like, you're going for the visual aesthetic of the outside of the vehicle, but you can put in all kinds of stuff on the inside. I would actually probably put in a, like, cage inside the vehicle, too. Just for safety standards. Because, like, the crumple zone and things like that weren't really a thing back then, you know? That's something we figured out later. Okay. I've got basically everything I can get, right? Yeah. Got everything I can get. So let's get out of here. RTB! Oh, there's one secret I missed. I wonder what the secret was that I missed. Also, at some point we're going to get more of these, you know. Ooh, model viewer. Huh, neat. The Rot. Emma, the weaponsmith. I didn't realize there was more like stuff like that. That's neat. Yep. Yeah, I know what you mean. No, I'm not. I'm not into that whole thing. Like, I don't need silliness like that, you know. A silver there. Nothing in the subway. So go to the graveyard. I think our speed upgraded to 3. I think our speed upgraded to 3. Yeah! I'll take the assault rifle, please. Collect pieces of silver. Let's do it. And, of course, save people and all that stuff. Little grave robbing. The corpses are probably walking around anyways. That's... Why would you say it that way? I don't know why you would say it that way, sir, but, you know. Get back here! Okay, that's turned off for now. Oh, there's some silver. Ow, ow, ow. Okay, nothing. Ah, ratos! Ow! You have unlocked the Rot Hand model. Ooh. Neat. Gotta be careful, we're actually getting hurt here. These guys aren't dropping much in the way of health or anything. And they have, like, invincibility frames for some reason. Making sure. Okay. I don't see anything over there. Oh, wait, this can be destroyed. another one over there we can destroy. Hopefully it'll have some silver. Oh, shit. Oh, you auto-reloaded for me. Okay. I didn't expect it to do that. Bonus music unlocked. Oh, wow, that didn't actually kill him. Okay. That's tragic. Oh, survivor.
They're gonna kill me.
Really? None of them dropped anything. Okay. Okay. Ah, here's another thing. Just ammo. Tragic. Pump shotgun. Die! Alright. The real drops of the friends we made along the way, yeah. More ammo. More ammo. That's more silver there. Ow. Ah! Ow! It's the worst when they don't drop any things to heal you or do anything, right? You know what? I'm gonna go heal up the thing. Let's play this smart. We have a healing message right here. Glyph. Oh, nope. That's for the other one. The healing glyph is way over here. Fuck! Oh. Just I've improved my skills. Oh, nice! It's tier 2 now. With Word of Power. Okay. We made it more powerful. Okay, now we check back on this side. Remember, we're only here after the silver. That's what our thing says. There's only really silver here. Oh, survivor. Damn, it got a much wider area. Okay. Hell yeah. I don't have to be as accurate and precise with it now. Okay. Cool. Cool. One of two secrets. Bastard bitch. Bastard bitch. Okay. Did you have any silver? No. You do. You do. Okay. I guess let's check the catacombs and get the silver. Yeah, let's take the pump shotgun with us this time. Yeah. Yes, yeah. The vampires had little need for human wealth. You should have no trouble finding silver down here. What? Rude! Bastard bitch. Yeah, I don't know what that's talking about. The vampires, like, are obsessed with wealth. In fact, they make a joke if you're poor in the vampire setting. They literally fucking skill issue other vampires if you're poor at all. Whoa! It's over. Oh fuck, I meant to do this. Oh, it's an aid kit. I thought that was something else. Alright. Oh, I don't have the map for this area. And I can't... I'm stuck in my character's nose, basically. Just put on armor. Oh, nice. Alright. So we just gotta go to one more spot, which is the downtown area. 0 of 1 secrets. Downtown area to get the last piece of silver, and then hopefully we can go straight to her. Oh, bro. Emma said that a werewolf is prowling the area. You will need silver weapons to defeat it. Find as much silver as you can in the area. Okay, I'm well aware. Like I said, we'll find out. We'll see if we can figure out what tribe they're with, what auspice they're with. Hey, I found enough silver. Well, her workshop was all the way down here, right? Nothing else I need, right? Yeah, her workshop was all the way over there, according to her. Oh! Doggies! I forgot about the hellhounds. Rothounds, sorry. Ah! Ow! 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 Fuck you. Ah! Oh, you know what? That could be fun if it turns out it's just a gangrel. Like, that would be fun. I like that they dealt with that in Hunter the Parenting, that it could be a werewolf, air quotes. Right? And then the Amanda and Kitten were like, what? It's like, there are many werewolf-like things that aren't actually werewolves. Ah! Doggy coming to bite me. No biting! Ah! Oh my god! Really? Right at the exit? I was like, really? Right at the exit? You bastard bitch. Oh. Okay. Emma's workshop. Protect Emma while she makes silver ammunition. Oh boy. Oh boy. This should get spicy. Emma can make silver weapons for you now so that you can defeat the werewolf if you find him. See that she does not come to harm. Now take the silver to her table, the center of the room. They are loading us up on stuff. Keep them away from me. Oh my god! How much health she lost? From that kick? Oh my god! No! Ah! No! Oh my god! Dude! That is brutal! That is evil. That's mean-spirited. You'd realize I'm one player, right? Like, what the fuck, man? I'm one guy. I'm just one guy. Yeah, she's way more frail than she was when she was out in the street. Okay. I'm gonna try Emma, but... Ugh. Fuck off! Oh my god! Sweet! Mother have mercy! Okay, we're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. Holy fuck, monkeys. That one was the worst. That was the worst of them all. Oh my god. Defeat the werewolf. Where the graveyard has been locked against intruders. About 2 years ago, there was a rash of grave robbings. Except in this case, the bodies were taken and everything else was left behind. Alright. Anyways, chat, I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick and put some stuff in the air fryer to get some food. Yeah, like I said, we will figure out, hopefully, what type of werewolf this is. But yeah, it'll be a momento. Okay, stuff is in the air fryer. So let us begin. Okay. Oh, cutscene. Strange patterns. Yeah, really? Okay, it's definitely a Krynos. Patterns on it, though. I don't recognize the symbols of it. You spotted a werewolf moving through the streets of Ashcroft. After following it, you have arrived in time to see it attacking a man. He looks like one of the missing hunters. Save him from the beast. Oh yeah, this is going to work out real well, let me tell you. Oh! Wait, why do you... Oh! Ow! No! Ugh! Ow! Ow, please! Ow, please! I am shocked I'm still alive, actually. Check the tombstone! Ah! Ah! Found the great launch piece! Ah! Get up and run! Ah! Ah! Oh, no! Whoa, wait a minute! Ah, that's a bad idea! Okay, wait a minute. Alright, so he's throwing fireballs and he's puking stuff at us. Black Spiral? Ow! Ow, and he's got spirits protecting. Ow! My God! Ah! Ah! Ow! Oh, bad! Ow! Bad! Ow! I gotta have a big abundance of continues. So I'm thinking Theurge because of the amount of spiritual bullshit. Oh my God! Get fucked. The tattoos are kind of spirally, but they're not what I would say. I wouldn't, like, scream spiral. But the vomiting and stuff like that, that screams more spiral to me.
Father, he's waking up.
Welcome back to the land of the living, my son. Would you be God 45 or Fanatics 656?
God 45. Joshua.
Since we only found the one of you, we fear the worst for your companion. Are you up to talking?
I guess. I don't know that much anyway. It's kind of a blur. Devin and I left to collect the tapes from the surveillance cameras. We were getting close to one of the cameras when I got a premonition of a trap. All of a sudden, we were surrounded. Then a werewolf waded into the circle, and Fanatic and I opened fire. But it was a lost cause. I blacked out soon after that. I woke up in a prison cell. I looked out into the main room and saw Devin chained down.
Interested in what's going on? You will find out soon enough. Bring him.
I think I passed out again shortly after that. Because when I woke up, there was this freak of nature standing at the open cell door.
Rise and shine, sweetheart. It's parole time. The governor just come and saved your ass. Now get out of my cell. Forget about your friend and everything else in here.
Carpenter?
We killed him, didn't we?
Apparently not.
He told me the quickest way out of the prison. And heeding its advice, I ran.
What did you see of the prison? How many of them are in there?
I didn't get a chance to take a census. But what I saw was a lot.
Can we get back in using the tunnels?
Not those friggin' tunnels again.
Yeah, so I'm thinking Spiral
They
is
were trying to
definitely
seal them as I was making my escape.
what that werewolf
The
was.
only way you are getting into that prison is through the front door.
So now we just need to find a tank. Great. Anyone got
Because
any
they were
ideas?
using fire and
Plans
vomit.
to the prison would be nice too. I mean, if it wasn't for that rot, I'd still be wandering around in that damn place. It's amazing there.
Tell us something we don't already know.
So, let's find a tank. Or the next best thing and crash through those gates.
I'm coming with.
I'm coming with you. Secrets discovered 7 of 8. There was another secret in there I missed. Okay. I think Theurge is the right one for like some of its abilities, and being Black Spiral would explain like the vomiting and everything like that. It's weird it's got a collar on. You could see it more in the cutscene, but you can kind of see it here, right? Really fucking stubby tail. Look at that little teeny tiny stub of a tail. Yeah, let's see. You know, I'm gonna look up if they've ever decided what it actually is supposed to be. Have you? Whoops. Have you ever decided what it actually is? Like, have the developers or anything said anything? Oh, apparently Redeemer has a werewolf in it too. I didn't want to know about it, but yeah. Okay. Here's a werewolf waded to the circle. So they don't mention it at all, looks like. One of the controversial decisions in the game line is by displaying Joshua Matthews in a sympathetic light in Hunter the Reckoning Wayward, due to the fact that Waywards were pretty clearly intended as the enemy splat in their initial introduction. Yeah. Well, I can definitely tell because one of his abilities is fucking Spiral. How do you know if he's an enemy? How do you know if he's an enemy splat or not? Well, one of his abilities is Spiral. I'm gonna say he's an enemy. He put all his tail flip on his head, apparently. But yeah, nobody talks about like Wayward. What tribe is the werewolf? The werewolf encountered by the hunters in Hunter the Reckoning Wayward belongs to an all-female cult and is not identified as a specific tribe. What? A witch-led cult, not a formal Gauru tribe. What? 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 Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. Oh, now I'm even more confused. Anyways, I will be right back, second chat. Apparently, my stomach says I got the grumble rumbles, and then I'm gonna go pick up my stuff in the air fryer. So, BRB a momento. I'll be back. Ironically, that happens more than you would think. Okay. All right. E. E. Why does the rotate not work? Okay. Ah, now we can go to Midtown. Area for the mechanic. Heck, Emma, while she builds the grenade launcher. It just seems like hell. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I could, but this seems like it's gonna be hell. Oh, look, we can take oh my god! Look at his stats! Damn! I guess it kind of buffed. Everybody's got, like, that's kind of nice that everybody's, you know, gets some EXP from everything I'm doing, too. So, yeah, I'm fine with that. Okay, I can't go anywhere. We have to make sure we get right up on her butt. We gather the pieces of the grenade launcher. Emma can assemble them for you. It may take her a little while to do so, so keep her safe while she works. I'm really gonna hate this, aren't I? I'm really not liking the fact that I'm not finding any ammo. Ah! Oh my god, look at all the doggies! Oh no! Oh my god, we did it! Oh my god! Yes! Here's your grenade launcher. I'm out! Peace, I'm out! Bye-bye! Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, I forgot to do this one. Let's get that cleaned up and overwrite and written now. Yes. Okay. That was close. It was very close. And this just seems like it'd be fun. I'll try it. We also knew a mechanic that was not tainted. Apparently he lived and worked in the neighborhood. You're going to have to search the area and see if he's still here. Okay. They got blades! And they got machetes! Machetes. Ow! Oh my god, okay, they are durable. Thankfully, they get one tap by that. So, yeah, they are durable. Ow! We're voodoo zombies under a magic spell. Wow, you can talk? Tell me more. Grrr, brains, brains, Damn it, Jerry, you almost went off script and revealed everything. What would the Baron think? No, don't tell somebody. Don't tell somebody. I promise I'll be a good zombie. Ow! Ow! I'm getting fucking filleted like a fish. Hey, found the map.
Have you people lost your mind?
If only you could see the rots. Ugh! Bam! Huh? ¿Por qué? ¡Oh! ¡Ah! ¡Ratos! Ow! Ow, fuck you! Ow! What do you want me to do about it? There's a fucking endless horde of zombies. Oh my god. Come on, get it. Let's get out of here, quick. Oh my god! I'm trying, Leroy, I'm trying! We've clearly come to hell. We're on the right way. Leroy, come on! Come on, Leroy! Oh my god! Let's go, Leroy, let's go! Oh no. Really? Come, Leroy, we gotta get out of here. Over your body shop's this way. Oh no, doggos! Leroy, where are you? Leroy, things are bad. Oh my god, Leroy, where are you? I feel like I got stuck on these vehicles. Leroy, run! Stop fighting everything, Leroy, and run! Oh my god. Come!
Get him off of me!
Your help. What was wrong with this town? My family and I were getting ready to leave for good. I was out searching for parts to repair my bus so we could leave. If you want, you could take the bus, I guess, but you'll have to find the parts for it. Once I have the parts, I can get it running again. Have a part already, but bring me the other two I need before we discuss that one. Prison? My brother did some electrical work for them a few years back. He should still have the plans in his office somewhere. His office is connected to my garage. You should be able to find the plans there. Run! Get out of here! Get out of here! Oh my god! That was terrible. All right. With that is where I will end it. Ah, chat. That was a wild ride, for sure. In the meantime, though, chat, well, you guys take care. Have a fantastic day. Stay safe and healthy. Get figure ripped. I will see you back here tomorrow. Remember, on Friday, we're going to do a read-through of Guardians of Nature. And on Saturday, we're going to be watching The Rundown. Because I haven't seen that movie in ages. And let's get some extra Christopher Walken up in here. Now that we watched Dune Part 2. Yeah. In the meantime, though, chat. Bye-bye for now, everyone. Goodbye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Yeah.